We begin not in Afghanistan, but in the United States, in the brutal, unforgiving world of Navy SEAL training. This is where ordinary men are broken down and rebuilt into something extraordinary, where the weak are weeded out and the strong are forged into brothers. The training is relentless. Days without sleep, runs through freezing surf, obstacle courses designed to push the human body to its absolute limit. It's not just about physical strength, it's about mental toughness. It's about learning to trust the man next to you with your life. Because in combat, that trust is the only thing that will keep you alive. We are introduced to 4 men who have survived this crucible. They are elite, they are confident, and they are about to be sent on a mission that will change their lives forever. The scene shifts to Afghanistan. The year is 2005. The mountains of Kuna province tower above the clouds, rugged and unforgiving. This is enemy territory. This is where the Taliban hides. And this is where our 4 SEALs are being deployed. They are part of a reconnaissance mission, codenamed Operation Red Wings. Their objective: locate a high-value Taliban leader named Ahmed Shah, a man responsible for the deaths of dozens of coalition soldiers. The mission is simple. Find him, report his position, call in the strike. But nothing about this mission is simple. The team is flown to a forward operating base where they receive their final briefing. They study maps, memorize coordinates, and go over their equipment one last time. They are professional. They are focused. But there is tension in the air. Everyone knows the risks. They board a Chinook helicopter and lift off into the night. The flight is rough. The weather is terrible: fog, rain, and low visibility. The pilots struggle to find the landing zone, and the team is dropped off nearly a mile from their intended position. They fast rope down into the darkness and disappear into the mountains. They are alone now. No backup, no support. Just 4 men in their training. The climb is brutal. Steep slopes, loose rocks, and thin air. Every step is a struggle. But they push forward, driven by their mission and their loyalty to each other. They reach a ridge overlooking the village where Shah is believed to be hiding. They set up a hide site and begin their surveillance. The sun rises, and the team observes the village through their scopes. What they see is alarming. The village is crawling with armed fighters, far more than intelligence had predicted. They count at least 40 to 50 militants. The team is outnumbered, outgunned, and in a vulnerable position. They try to radio their observations back to base, but the mountains are blocking the signal. They are cut off. They decide to wait, hoping that the radio will start working once the atmospheric conditions improve. Hours pass. The sun climbs higher. The team grows increasingly frustrated. They are sitting on critical intelligence but cannot report it. Then, around midday, disaster strikes. 3 local goat herders, an old man and 2 teenagers, stumble directly into the team's position. The herders are surprised as the SEALs. They freeze, staring at the heavily armed Americans. The team quickly subdues the herders, binding their hands and covering their mouths. They drag them into the hide site and begin to debate what to do next. The argument is intense. One member of the team argues that the herders must be killed. It's the only way to guarantee the team's safety. The herders will alert the Taliban if released. The mission will be compromised. They will all die. Another member of the team refuses. He says he will not kill unarmed civilians. He says it is not who they are. It is not what their country stands for. He is willing to risk his own life to preserve his humanity. The debate rages. Lives are at stake. There is no easy answer. Finally, the team leader makes a decision. They will release the herders. It is the most humane choice, but it is also the most dangerous. He knows the risks. They all do. They untie the herders, give them some water, and tell them to sit down and stay put for an hour. But as soon as the herders are released, one of the young men sprints down the mountain toward the village. The team knows they have been betrayed. They immediately gather their gear and begin to relocate, hoping to find a more defensible position. But they are too late. Within minutes, the Taliban is upon them. Fighters swarm up the mountain from multiple directions, using the rugged terrain as cover. The firefight is immediate and brutal. Bullets fly from every direction. Rocket-propelled grenades explode with deafening force. The SEALs are outnumbered. They are outgunned, but they fight back with everything they have. They take cover behind rocks and trees, firing accurately, moving between positions, coordinating their fire. The battle is chaotic. The team is pinned down. They cannot retreat. They cannot call for help. They are trapped. One by one, the SEALs begin to fall. The radio man is shot in the back while trying to establish radio contact. He collapses but continues to try to send a distress call. He knows the team's only hope is to get word back to base. Another SEAL is struck in the head. He keeps fighting, refusing to give up, but eventually succumbs to his wounds. The team leader is shot in the back and abdomen. He is bleeding heavily, but he refuses to quit. He knows that the team's only chance is to call for help. The radio is still not working. He makes the ultimate sacrifice. He moves into an open clearing, fully exposed to enemy fire. He stands up, raises the satellite phone to his ear, and calmly relays the team's coordinates. He is hit multiple times, but he does not stop. He dies on that call, still holding the phone, still trying to save his men. Only one SEAL remains. He has been shot, hit by shrapnel, and thrown off a cliff by the force of an RPG blast. He is broken, bleeding, and barely conscious. But he is still alive. He begins crawling down the mountain. He has no weapons, no food, no water. He is alone in enemy territory. He crawls for miles through the rugged terrain, using every ounce of strength he has. He drags himself across rocks and through brush, leaving a trail of blood behind him. He refuses to give up. Meanwhile, the distress call has been received. A massive rescue operation is launched. A Chinook helicopter carrying a quick reaction force rushes to the scene. The men on board know the risks. They are flying into a hot zone, but they are SEALs. They will not abandon their brothers. As a helicopter approaches a landing zone, tragedy strikes again. A Taliban fighter fires an RPG directly at the helicopter. The rocket strikes the rear rotor, and the helicopter spirals out of control. It crashes into the mountainside in a fiery explosion. Everyone on board is killed instantly. The lone survivor on the ground continues crawling. He eventually reaches a small stream and collapses at the water's edge. He drinks and tries to regain his strength. He knows he has to keep moving. He crawls into a village and passes out. He is discovered by an Afghan villager named Gulab. Gulab sees a wounded American and makes a decision that will save the survivor's life. The survivor is taken to Gulab's home. His wounds are treated. He is given food and water. The villagers debate what to do. Some want to turn him over to the Taliban. Others want to protect him. The Taliban arrives at the village and demands that the American be handed over. They threaten to kill everyone if the villagers refuse. The village elders stand firm. They invoke their ancient code of honor and refuse to betray their guest. They are willing to die to protect him. A tense standoff ensues. The Taliban are outnumbered by the villagers. They eventually withdraw, leaving the survivor alive. But the Taliban does not give up. They attack the village later, determined to kill the American. The villagers fight back, and a fierce battle erupts. The survivor, despite his injuries, picks up a weapon and joins the fight. Just as the situation seems hopeless, American helicopters arrive. They rain down fire on the Taliban positions, driving the insurgents back. The survivor is finally rescued. He is airlifted to safety. The survivor returns to the United States to a hero's welcome. But he is haunted by the loss of his brothers. He carries their memory with him every day. In the aftermath of the mission, the fallen are honored. The team leader receives a Medal of Honor for his extraordinary bravery. The others receive the Navy Cross. They are remembered as heroes. The survivor dedicates his life to honoring his fallen brothers. He speaks publicly about their sacrifice, raises money for their families, and ensures that their names are never forgotten. This is the story as it is told on screen. A story of brotherhood, sacrifice, and survival. It is a story that has inspired millions around the world. But it is not the full story, because the real events of that day, Operation Red Wings, were different in several critical ways. The movie took creative liberties to heighten the drama, to make the story more cinematic. And while the film captures the emotional truth of what happened, the historical facts tell a different tale. Let's look at some of the key differences. First, the moral dilemma. In the film, the decision to release the goat herders is made by the team leader alone. In reality, the team actually voted. One member voted to kill the herders. One voted to release them. One abstained. And the deciding vote belonged to the lone survivor, who chose to let them go. He later called it the worst decision he ever made. Second, the injuries. In the film, the lone survivor is shown as being on the verge of death, barely conscious, and in need of desperate medical attention. In reality, he was injured but stable. He was able to walk and talk. He was not in immediate danger of dying. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about films based on true stories that take dramatic license? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed this deep dive, drop a like, subscribe, and join the family. We've got plenty more stories to tell.